I'm really getting a kick out of our CDC approved masks. Seeing Tracy L. Connors trying to vape through one of these things, it's worth the price of admission, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Enough Already podcast. I'm Fingers Malloy. Tracy L. Connors joins me. Remember, you can catch the Enough Already podcast, the video version of the show, over on YouTube and BitChute. And if you do catch it over there, you'll see us in our full CDC approved masks. By the way, we were told 2 weeks ago that it was a waste of time to wear these things.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No good. Don't bother. But now my governor is saying you got to wear one when you leave the house.
Oh, you've got a whole thing going on there in Pennsylvania. And we can get into that in a minute. If you're crossing the border to try to get yourself some booze. It's unreal what's going on right now. I'm going to take mine off because I want to be able to drink my coffee.
I'll put mine down and take my safety glasses up there. But I'm ready to roll out, Governor Wolf, just in case. Oh, when I leave the house, I can wear this as a headband. And then if the cops come, I'll just whoop.
Yeah, it's kind of
just myself a wide collection of these.
It's kind of like the don't text and drive laws. And we got one in Indiana right now where you are not supposed to, I believe it takes effect July 1st. You're not supposed to have your phone in your hand while you're driving. But if you have it mounted to a dash mount, it's completely okay. So,
sure. Well, that makes some sense.
So I'm just going to get a dash mount that reaches all the way. It's got an extension rod, and it'll be about a foot away from the steering wheel. Oh, geez, officer. It's right here. It's attached to the dash mount. So I don't see what the problem is. I'm not breaking the law. Ridiculous.
Well, it's been against the law in Pennsylvania for a long time to handhold while you drive, and I see people do it every day. I don't understand the concept. It's like put them on speaker or get yourself some headphones, but no.
Well, for me, I use GPS a lot, and so I have my phone in my hand at a stoplight to check, okay, I got to put in my directions here, and then, oh boy, if I have my phone in my hand, heart palpitations. Meanwhile, the guy next to me is eating cereal out of a bowl, driving with one knee, and that's cool. And the lady on the other side of me is putting on her makeup, looking in the rearview mirror, battling with kids in the back seat. Those aren't distractions. And how we got on this, I apologize.
Yeah, I don't know. And I don't know why you haven't found a workaround for that. I put mine up in my dash on the other side of my steering wheel, and I have it there. So I don't have to hold it in my hand when I'm using my GPS. And your GPS also talk to you, Fingers.
What an age we live in.
Yeah.
It just pisses me
off. I know. You've been in way worse car accidents than I have, so maybe you should try to be a little safer.
I would just like to point out that those traffic accidents were not my fault.
No, it's true, but I don't know. You tend to attract the negativity and bad things to you.
Well, I do drive 100 miles a day, so you put yourself out there that much. There's a good.
I drive about 5.
Yeah, there's a good possibility things could go wrong. But we do need more police citizenry interaction. Really, that's what we need.
Oh, 100%.
But so here's what's going on, Tracy. I gotta tell you about my day yesterday.
Oh, please do.
So I woke up in the morning and I could hear. I'm in a half bath brushing my teeth, and the exterior wall it shares with the half bath. There's the half bath. Then if I knock on the wall, it's outside, and I can hear a bird trying to get into my dryer vent. So I went outside, and there's the bird, and so I had to go to Walmart or Lowe's to get a replacement dryer vent cover, which is something I did not want to do. I'm not actually a fan of going out right now.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you're trying to avoid leaving the house, but
Aside from exercising, yeah, I go to the store once a week.
Yeah. So I'm one of these people that the Karens are all pissed off about.
Do you want to explain the Karens?
Basic Becky's. It's different than Basic Becky. Karen is a generation X Basic Becky. Is that what we're going with here? Where it's
I guess, but explain it to the boomers who wouldn't understand either of the references.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but a Karen is a woman who acts like she's the PTA president of the country, goes beyond the PTA. And she sits back as a suburban soccer mom and judges everyone and tries to tell everyone what to do. And Karens are very vocal in this. What is this? The stay at home, the sit and spin, the stay in place, whatever we're calling it. Society we're living in now. And so they're very upset that the Lowe's and the Home Depots of the world are open because we're supposed to be staying at home. And this is not a time for you to catch up on your home improvement projects. You're supposed to be staying home. Okay. Calm down, Karen. It's going to be okay. So I had to go to Lowe's yesterday. And then while I'm there, I have to pick that up. I was like, well, I need grass seed. So then I'm looking in my cart, and I've got like a garden hose and grass seed and fertilizer. I'm thinking to myself, oh, if Karen saw the cart right now, she'd be upset. And then I felt like one of these people that's like, okay, you're just making a trivial trip to Lowe's to just pick up your home improvement project needs during this pandemic. But I went there originally because I needed the cover because I don't want birds nesting in my house. So I went to Lowe's and I promised the kids I would wear my CDC approved mask that they made for me. And I walked through Lowe's, and I would say only about 20% of the people were wearing some sort of masks, and most of them were women.
Mm-hmm.
So
women tend to be more health conscious than men anyway.
Yeah.
You look at who goes to the doctor and those kinds of things.
Right. But so I had guys walking by looking at me like, what the hell are you wearing? What kind of man are you? Well,
yeah, well, my kids made me do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Things we do for our children. And, because here's the deal. I would feel better about it if I thought that it actually helped. But I was just told 2 weeks ago that this doesn't help unless you are sick and you're coughing and sneezing. Well, I'm not sick. So if we could just all find one narrative and go with it and have it be consistent throughout the pandemic, that would be nice. That's all. Is that too much to ask?
No, I don't think so. Although I'm enjoying watching the Karen thought process kind of spread. I don't know if you watched yesterday evenings. We're recording this on Monday morning, April the 6th. Last night's White House coronavirus task force meeting. I don't know who the reporter is. I've never seen him before. But the question that he asked was very Karen-esque. Shouldn't we shut everything down? Close grocery stores, please, Mr. President. It's like, you're as dumb as my governor, who originally thought it was a good idea to close coal mines. Yeah, let's just shut down grocery stores. That makes sense. How do you expect people to get food, you friggin' idiot? Oh, they can just get delivery. Oh, sure. Everybody has that ability. Do you know how many people don't understand how apps work?
Or listen, not everyone lives in Old Town Alexandria.
Right.
Live in remote South Dakota and try to get your groceries delivered. Does not compute. Does not compute.
No. It's just unbelievable. What a stupid ass question. Okay. Okay. Everything should just be shut. Cool.
Well, it goes to show once again that they are insulated in their little New York City / Washington, D.C. media bubble, and they think that that's how the rest of the country lives.
But they don't even understand. Okay, say we shut down the grocery stores. Say we shut literally everything down. Mm-hmm. Then you can't get food delivery because there's no food being delivered to the grocery store. Because everything means farmers stop raising crops and the meat processing plants stop processing. It's just everything shuttering to a halt means you get nothing. So please tell me, how many MREs do you have in your closet, Karen? I'm guessing 0. I guess you don't even know what an MRE is. How's your prepper friend at work?
I don't know. I haven't seen him in a while, but I'm sure this is natural Viagra for him. I mean, he's been waiting for this his entire life. I mean, he probably has. I'm not exaggerating. Probably 300 to 400 rolls of toilet paper.
Nice.
That he warned me. He said, "Listen." He had one of those. Have you seen him on TV? Where you can get these vacuum seal bags that are huge that people put laundry in and stuff. Well, he was putting toilet paper in those. And
was he afraid it was going to go stale? I don't understand.
It's easier to store them because it would suck the toilet paper down and the rolls would become almost flat. And then you could cut them open and then just, give them a little squeeze the Charmin and make them round again.
No, once you break that cardboard, it's not going to go back. You're going to flopping around the roll.
Well, listen,
come on, you don't need to.
In the middle of
seal your your toilet paper.
In the middle of a pandemic, are you going to care that your toilet paper roll isn't perfectly round?
Yes, if I'm I'm an over the top with the roll. Unroll from the top down. So if I'm in any restroom and it's the other way, I have such OCD about it that I'll fix it.
Oh, really?
So yes, it would bother me if
you will
flattened.
You will touch the toilet paper roll in a public restroom. You'll flip it around, smack it up, flip it, rub it down. Oh no. Yeah.
Well, normally in the public ones, it's the big gigantic rolls. So there's really no way to access that thing. But no, if I'm at someone's house and they do that, I'm like, there's something wrong with you. Your world will be changed tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so I'm sure he is having a field day because he's completely off the grid. He spent the money on the solar panels with the battery packs. He's selling electricity back to the local power company. Thrilled. Water on a well.
Nice.
So... I don't know where he is, but he doesn't own a gun. So,
what?
Yeah, so a coworker's like, so let me get this straight. You're completely prepared for the apocalypse, but anyone can just stop by with a gun and take everything you've been saving all this time.
Yes.
He's like, well, try to find me. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm sure he's excited about all of this, but there's been so many things circulating the internet, and I don't know if you had seen the clip of a Karen yelling at 2 teenage boys who were driving in the neighborhood.
Yes,
how she was going to call the police because they're supposed to be social distancing and they're supposed to be staying in place. And they're driving around the neighborhood, and she's got her face in their car, not social distancing, and not caring that she was going to be an internet star because this kid was clearly videotaping her. I don't care. Videotape me. The cops are coming after you. It's like, okay. Sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, my neighbors are still snitching on each other on neighborhood or next door.
Well,
It's amazing. Like we would just you can now understand why people just submit to totalitarian regimes. There is an impulse in a lot of people to just point out rule breakers as if they win some kind of brownie points that result in toilet paper being airlifted to their house.
yeah, I don't understand what someone thinks they're gaining by doing that, other than being able to have your soapbox go a little bit higher on the Karen rung. I don't know.
Well, look, virtue signaling as far as all the protected categories has kind of gotten tamped down during all of this. Like one of my favorite tweets is that the virus broke woke. Although I'm seeing it start to crop back up. I saw articles like how minority communities are being the most impacted by the coronavirus. Like, okay, sure. Maybe it's public housing, perhaps, because people live on top of each other in there.
It could be.
It could be. But to replace that, we need this new version of virtue signaling, which is the tattletaling. Like, I am so good and I am so on top of this and making sure we can all get back to work by ratting out my neighbors for leaving their house.
Well, you have the mayor of Los Angeles rooting for encouraging that kind of behavior.
Of course. Well, they can find people. They got to get a money source coming in, Fingers. They don't have businesses running. They're not getting sales taxes. This is no good. They're not getting DUI tickets. They're not getting red light tickets. I saw that the other day. They're annoyed that red light cameras are turned off for this. And so they're losing their income here. But I saw yesterday on Twitter, a bunch of people were saying basketball hoops are being taken down all over the place. Yep. It's just crazy. Oh, well, I'm wondering if I can order basketball hoops on Amazon and start mailing them to people.
I'm in a neighborhood in central Indiana that has a homeowners association, and getting on the Facebook homeowners association page has been quite entertaining. You have the snitches that are getting on the board saying, "What is wrong with you people? I drove by the neighborhood playground and there were 15 kids playing basketball." What?
Oh my God.
And the president of the homeowners association said, "Yeah, we're taking the hoops down." Well, listen, I don't understand. And I'm speaking as a parent when I say this. I don't understand not being able to look at your kids and saying, "You're staying the fuck home. You're staying home."
But do you really think it's super dangerous for a bunch of kids to go play basketball together?
I don't know.
We have yet to see anybody that's seriously. I don't think there's been a single death of anybody under the age of 19.
No, but the problem is they give them back. They, will infect each other and then bring it home to the adults. I mean, there's a page that is a local page where a woman got on an old local Facebook page and said, "Listen," and she looks like, whenever I see a story like this, I immediately go to the profile pic to try to gauge if the person is older than me or younger than me. And she looks younger than me. She said, my husband, and he's in the profile pic too. My husband was self-quarantining in the basement, and while he tested positive for the coronavirus, he had a massive stroke, and he's going to be in the hospital for a long period of time. And then she went on to ask for help to try to fix a situation at her house. And of course I look at that and I think, oh crap, that dude looks younger than me, and you're hearing stories more and more that this is not the old person virus that people people talked about in the beginning, where, okay, most of the people that are going to the hospital that are dying of this they're elderly, they're over 80. Well, now the message is starting to get across that, well, no, actually, there are plenty of people in the ICU who are in their, between 20 and 40. So
Where is that data?
Well, on Facebook, so it's got to be true.
That's what's driving me nuts. So I wanted to pull up this map, which you can't see, Fingers, so bear with me.
Mm-hmm.
But this was Axios has an interactive map of the entire United States that shows the number of cases by state.
Yes.
And so in Indiana right now, where you are, do you know how many cases there are?
Boy, I haven't checked the figures in a couple. Last I checked, there was over 4,000.
4,400.
Okay.
Out of it, what's the population of your state? Do you know off the top of your head?
8 million?
Okay. So your odds are pretty good.
I get that, but you know me.
I know, but it's just like you're going to make yourself sick worrying about this stuff. So according to the model that everybody's using as far at the White House task force level, you're maxed out. Let's see.
7 million, by the
way. Okay. April 16th will be your peak in Indiana. And at that time, a total of 4,441 hospital beds will be necessary.
But don't you understand? Those are today's figures. By the time we get to the peak, we will have 22 million people in Indiana who have it.
No. I'm reading from the peak day.
22 million.
No. You can't have 3 times the population of your state being sick. I mean, this is why I don't understand, and the Karen-ness of the White House press corps that are just like, are you going to tell those governors to shut down their states that haven't done so? And then you look at the Axios map. Do you know Wyoming has 0 deaths? 0.
Well, that's the thing. I thought this was supposed to slow the curve, and it was supposed to reduce the strain on our healthcare system. There isn't currently a strain in the healthcare system in Wyoming. Why should we treat them like New York?
Exactly. Same in North Dakota. They've got 207 cases. Wyoming has 197. Mm-hmm. That's it. North Dakota has 2 deaths. 3 deaths. South Dakota has 2. It's like, why shouldn't those states be open? Do these people that live in these major metropolitan areas not have an idea of what the rest of the country looks like? That you could drive for an hour and not see a house in some of these places. It's just absurd. I can't remember who it was, and I don't want to throw a name out, but I think it was one of the bigger lefty political YouTuber guys that took a photo when he was flying cross country out the window of the plane. And you could see the lines between different farms and how the grass looks different. And he's like, what is this? Oh my God, you sheltered shit. It's wild though. Well, clearly, I mean, look at these numbers.
Clearly, they have commerce envy. They have commerce envy. Why should these people be able to have their businesses open and have their lives be somewhat normal compared to us, where we've got everything shut down? If we have everything shut down, they should have everything shut down too, because we're smarter than those people anyway. They should follow our lead on this.
Well, I think it's more that they think they're stupid and need to be corralled and contained. It doesn't matter that the data tells us that they're perfectly safe. No, they need to be put on lockdown too. Just because they're stupid and they're dangerous because they're stupid.
Well, I mean, it was the governor of South Dakota has come out and said there's been a lot of pressure put on these governors who haven't put these stay in place, shelter at home laws, whatever, ordinances. It's not even these executive orders, because most states it's not like the police are driving around pulling people over saying, produce your papers.
Right.
But there is this pressure on these governors, outside pressure, by the way. I don't think you're having a lot of citizens in these states clamoring to have the governor sign an executive order telling them to stay home. Most people can look at this and say, okay, I'm going to try to stay a safe distance away from people, and I will make sure to wipe my grocery cart down twice instead of once before I use it, and I will just be careful. There are some people that, when I was walking through Lowe's yesterday, there were some very carefree people walking through the store as if nothing was going on, and that's fine too. I'm a little bit more paranoid about these things because I'm just assuming I'm going to get it. But I understand the numbers, and I understand that even if I do, for all I know, I've already had it. Who knows? We got to get these antibody tests out there to find out. But who knows what I think this is the main problem in this whole thing is there hasn't been a consistent message being shared with the American people as to what will happen if you get it. It's all over the map. But I've heard, and this seems to be a consistent message now, that 80% of people who get it either don't know that they'll have it, or they'll have the sniffles and maybe want a bowl of chicken soup.
Unless you're a CNN anchor, and then it's Academy Award time. Can you explain to me why CNN anchors are still going into the studio?
Beats me.
You now have two of them that have it. So who else in that building has it?
Right.
I'm guessing anybody in hair and makeup,
mm-hmm.
and anybody that puts on a lav mic on those guys, if we're to believe how easily this is transmissible. And then anybody potentially that sits behind that desk again. So Brian Stelter, what are you doing? Why are you still going in there? I really don't understand. Is your job really that essential that you have to go into the studio? Are you embarrassed by what your apartment looks like?
Listen, we need Brian Stelter to get into the office every day and get on camera to tell me what Fox News did wrong yesterday.
I know. I had them on yesterday, just on mute in the background, and it's an entire segment because I guess what was it? The Daily Show put together a montage of all the things that Fox News said, and this is all Fox News' fault, that all these old people are getting sick because Fox was telling them, oh, it's not a big deal. It's like, come on. I started going through clips this morning of older news broadcasts, and I found one from way back in January on Morning Joe, and I'm going to throw it up on enoughalready.media, of Mika Brzezinski talking to Morning Joe's official doctor, and he's saying, man, people should be more worried about the flu. Holy shit, this is what everybody thought. Nobody knew. Right. We still don't know.
Oh, listen, there's a clip of Nancy Pelosi walking through San Francisco in late February saying, oh, come on out. The water's fine. It's okay.
No, I think it was early February because it was during Chinese New Year.
Okay. But still, this is selective editing, Tracy. Why are we only seeing the Fox stories?
Oh, wow.
Go to the clip of the Speaker of the House in February walking around in public, telling everyone to come out and play. The mayor of New York City saying, oh, everything's fine. No worries.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's Fox News. That's the reason why old people are dying. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
I don't even like Fox News. Why are you making me defend them?
No, I like Tucker, and Tucker's been freaking out about this since the end of January. Yeah. And you've got receipts to prove that. Plus you've got, and if you think about it, when that story came up about the senators trading on insider information to sell their stocks, because they were briefed. That brief happened on January the 24th. Am I to believe that Nancy Pelosi wasn't briefed about this? This is such horseshit.
Right.
Of course she knew, but she was too focused on impeachment, and now we're going to see impeachment, the second act.
Yeah.
Or part deux, where we're going to have a 9/11 style commission to figure out who knew what when. Shut up. Would you? Shut up. Just go back to complaining about the Republican governors. That's the new thing. I mean, honestly, and I think it was, and I'm going to butcher this, but Gavin McInnes used to talk about these people on the left always almost sucking up to the principal. If you just substitute the president for the principal.
Yeah.
And this is now like, we hate this new principal, Donald Trump. He's such an asshole. But now we're like, hey, principal, these teachers, they're not enforcing the rules that you. Right. It's like, hey, it's not my job. I'm not allowed to tell them to stop it. Yes, I would encourage it. Like, what do you want him to do? Do you want him to send the National Guard in and take Kristi Noemi? Is that how you say her name? In South Dakota, who's refusing to do this stuff because there's 2 deaths in her whole state, to shut it down? You want Trump to just paratroop in there and shut her down?
Yes, they do. That's the natural tendency for the feds to come in and just shut the shit down with these people. It's just amazing to watch the transition from, oh my gosh, he's a fascist. We need him out of here. He's going to try to control all of our lives. And in just a short period of time, send in the National Guard, President Orange Man Bad. We need you to send in the National Guard. Shut shit down. Like, wait a minute. That's what you want now?
Yeah.
Protect us.
Yeah. Let's shut down the oil fields in the Dakotas. Why not? We don't need to get anywhere. I saw Jimmy Kimmel, who, and I don't know if you've seen any of the clips of the late night guys who are all broadcasting from their houses.
No, I've seen, you know, I've seen the thumbnails, but I haven't clicked on it.
It's bad. It's bad. We have better audio than they do. I'm not joking. I was watching Gavin's show, and he did a whole episode about how pathetic these guys are. And it's really sad when they don't have writers and when they don't have an audience that cues you in on when you're supposed to laugh. It's pathetic. Like, I think this could end up destroying late night TV because it's so bad. They should just shut it down.
Have you seen our budget? Our audio is better than theirs.
They're all talking right into their computers. And not only that, they're shaking their computers as they're talking. So their camera is jittering all over the place, and they're just yelling into the internal mic in their laptop. It's really weak. It's like, really? Nobody could go get you a mic? Are you kidding me? This is pathetic. But Kimmel's making jokes. Oh, great. You know, Trump keeps talking about how cheap gas is. Well, nobody's allowed to drive. It's like, you are such an idiot. Do you not realize that your groceries aren't going up exponentially because gas is going down? So the trucks that are getting your food to the supermarket are driving much more cheaply. Do you not realize, like, the other effects on this, like the price of plastics are going to drop, like all these other things, but I can't drive, so it doesn't affect anybody.
Well, you know, when I don't think Jimmy Kimmel is worried about the current price of broccoli in the United States and if it spikes or not based on the price of oil. Doesn't matter to him. But those people in flyover country with the grids, as you see them in the airplane, they care about stuff like that. And they could probably put 2 and 2 together.
The 8 states that are still up and running or whatever it is, you think those people aren't enjoying? I don't know. What's gas in Indiana right now?
I don't know. I haven't had to fill up in 2 weeks. But
yeah, go ahead.
I did see someone say, a reliable source, that there's a town in Texas, 99 cents a gallon.
I believe
99 cents in Texas.
Yeah. Well, I think the last price I saw here was $2.06. And we have a huge gas tax in Pennsylvania. I think we still have the highest gas tax.
Congratulations.
So that away. I know, it's exciting, isn't it?
No, I have not watched any of. Listen, I'm not a late night person anyway. I mean, I'm a late night person, but I don't watch any of the shows, and I'm way behind on any kind of TV shows that have captured the imagination of the American people. I still haven't watched Tiger King yet. I apologize. Well, I just started binge watching. This is how far behind I am on all this stuff. I just started binge watching Curb Your Enthusiasm. I'm on season 1 of Curb. That's
so you're not a very good binger.
No, I'm not.
Jane.
Well, my kids almost walked in on me the other night when I think it's the 3rd episode I was on, where Larry went to a party that was thrown. Did you watch Curb? Have you watched Curb?
I watched it back in the day.
Okay. Well,
I haven't watched the new season, but yes, go ahead.
Well, no, I'm on season 1. Tracy.
Good for you. Welcome to
2001.
Yeah, I don't even know when that premiered. Go ahead.
So Larry got talked into going to a party way outside of Los Angeles that was thrown by a buddy of his. Well, not even a friend of his, just an acquaintance who was at the golf club who used to be a porn star.
2000 is when that premiered. Finger.
Okay, good. I'm only 20 years behind the times. So at the end, he has to sneak. Spoiler alert for any of you who hasn't seen season 1 of Curb Your Enthusiasm. So he went into his buddy was having heart surgery. His agent, so he had to go in while his wife wasn't there to get his porn stash. And so he goes to get his porn stash, and then he sees his buddy who threw the party the other night was on one of the boxes of his porn stash. So he put in the video. Naturally, he puts in the videotape of the porn in his buddy's house, and he's sitting there in his buddy's bedroom watching it. And so there's a porn scene being acted out, and my kid came walking downstairs. It's like, okay, this is why I don't watch things. Because I haven't adapted to I don't like being in a living room, with the kids around, and I'm sitting there on my laptop with my earbuds in watching a TV show. So, but I'm on season 1 of Curb, so I haven't gotten to Tiger King yet.
Well, you're never getting into it at this rate.
Oh, in 2040, I will be watching Tiger King.
It's honestly, it's doesn't get really interesting as far as I'm concerned until episode 2, and it could have been seriously edited down. And now they're like, oh, there's going to be another episode that they're going to release. I'm like, great. We're going to drag this out longer. This thing could have been told in about 3 hours, maybe.
Yeah.
And we got to drag it out to 7.5. I don't know. Well, but, OJ has weighed in.
Hello, Twitter world.
Yeah.
I love how he opens his videos. Hello there, Twitter world.
And he caps them off with, I'm just saying. He does. So I don't know if if you've seen spoilers about this Tiger King. Oh, Lord. Well, there's the Karen of all Karens is one of the characters.
Uh-huh.
And her name's going to come to me in a moment. Carol.
Yeah.
Close enough to Karen that it throws you.
By the way, Karen is the perfect name for this, right?
Yes. Although I immediately go to Karen Walker from Will and Grace, who was a degenerate drunkard married to an old rich guy that you never saw.
Oh, no, I watched Will and Grace.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Good for you.
2000.
There you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, she's one of the main protagonists, and she runs a big cat rescue, right? Okay. She's an animal activist. Mm-hmm. So her arch nemesis is Joe Exotic, who is the other protagonist. And I submit that they are the same exact person and just different manifestations of that person. So one of them is like this white trash dude with a mullet that may or may not constantly be on meth. And she is a total Karen. You could see her at the PTA raising her hand, and she wears all animal print everything, but she's deathly allergic to cats. So it's just bizarre. And so she was married. She had an affair with a married man who was rather wealthy. Mm-hmm. He left his wife and children for her. And she already had a child at the time, and she never had children with this wealthy man.
It was probably the animal print pants.
No, he was the one that got her into the exotic animals. Oh, okay. Mr. Richie Rich. So he still had a wandering eye the whole time and had ladies all over the place, including, I believe, in Costa Rica. And he would go down there and see Girly and who knows. So he then, he and Karen, who's actually Carol, start fighting. You know, their relationship's a little rocky. She wants to be the only one. Mm. So all of a sudden, he disappears. Never to be seen again, mind you.
Okay.
And he had been, his lawyers interviewed in all of this, and he had been updating his will and preparing for a divorce to make sure, like updating his finances to kind of move stuff around. Right. So if they got divorced, she couldn't take it. And so he just up and vanishes.
It happens.
Right. So then we cut to Joe Exotic sitting there with his mullet, and he likes to also wear a sidearm at all times, mm-hmm. as you might imagine. Mm-hmm. And his supposition is that she killed him and fed him to the tigers. Because why not? And they do explain, I guess, tigers can digest bones just like pigs can.
Okay.
Well, seems like a convenient way of getting rid of bodies. Just take them right out to the backyard to the big cat rescue cats. So they're throwing all these conspiracy theories around that she killed him and did this. And they go to his ex-wife is also interviewed along with her daughters, who are his children. And they think that Karen they also think that she took the husband, and on the premise of their big cat rescue place, they had a meat grinder. So they're like, we think that she just ran him through the old meat grinder. So they cut to Carol, and she is cracking up laughing at this idea, which is totally the sign of an innocent person, right? She's like, that meat grinder's not big enough for me to run him through it. What are you, insane? I couldn't even get an arm in there. You're like, holy shit. So OJ on his Twitter feed wanted to let everybody know after a round of golf where he did really well. He said, people were telling me I got to check out this Tiger King show. So I checked it out, and I got to tell you, he's like, Karen. He said, Carol, I think she took his husband out. I think she fed him to the tigers.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
I don't want to call an innocent person guilty or anything.
Like, Karen, if you need help writing a book called If I Did It, let me know.
Oh, but if the meat grinder fits, you can't acquits. Oh my goodness. We've said often that Donald Trump is the ultimate troll on Twitter. No, it's OJ Simpson. It's OJ Simpson. Every time you see him post a video from the golf course and, hi there, Twitter world. He's tweaking everyone. I got away with murder and I'm out on the golf course. Let me tell you about this Tiger King. I gotta tell you. Wow. Ultimate troll. And he keeps doing it over and over and over again. And here's the thing. I'm amazed at the people who get fooled by fake OJ accounts. I had someone send me one the other day on April 1st. someone with a fake OJ account, and it had like 300,000 followers on it that said, I did it. Hey, Twitter world. I did it. April Fool's.
Sure.
Hashtag April Fool's Day. And then you look at the comments. I knew you did it. You're despicable. And some of those reactions were probably going along with the joke. And then others, you're like, I don't think they know that it's not the authentic OJ. Hey, Twitter world. Sometimes when I used to drive around town for all this, I would talk to myself in my OJ voice. Hey, Twitter world, I think I'm kind of hungry. I'm going to go to the Burger King drive-thru and get myself a Whopper. Twitter world. It's fun. You should try it for a whole day.
I think you should just go full on Randy Quaid with this. And every time he makes a video, you do a video. Yeah. But you have to have the strobe lights, and you just have to repeat everything that he said.
It's a good idea. Man.
All right. Well, you got the free time.
Right? Oh, you want to know how much free time I have? Listen, somehow I went down this rabbit hole where I got on the subject of Alice. It was a TV show from the 70s into the early 80s about a sassy waitress who was just driving through the town of Phoenix. She didn't know where she was going, but she stopped in Phoenix because she wanted to be a singer. That's how Linda Lavin. I want to be a singer, Linda Lavin, who played Alice. So she stayed in Phoenix with her teenage son. She was a single mom and decided to work at Mel's Diner with Vic Tayback, who starred as Mel Sharples, Tracy. And then there was the sassy waitress that Alice worked with, Flo. And she would say, "Kiss my grits" all the time. And, oh, yeah. So if Mel got mad at her and told her to do something, he would say, "Stow it." That would be his catchphrase. Everybody had to have a catchphrase, in the 70s and 80s on a sitcom. Like, "What you talking about, Willis?" And "Kiss my grits." Apparently, just for all of you folks out there who wanted to know, the TV show Alice was actually inspired by a film by Martin Scorsese, Alice, just passing through town. And there was a spinoff of Alice called Flo with the sassy waitress named Flo on the show. See what they did there? They took the name of the waitress and they spun that show off, and it got canceled after the second season. I know all this because I have nothing better to do with my time during lockdown than somehow came across Flo, and I got the opening theme song for Flo, which is typical 70s/80s theme song, which it tells you about the show and all the characters and everything in the theme song. Theme songs were their best, Tracy. TV theme songs were at their best in the 70s and 80s.
Sure. With the quintessential being the Brady Bunch, right?
Yes. So that's where I am right now. I'm looking up spin-offs from television shows in the 70s. I'm living my best life.
Yeah. I'm happy to say that comparatively, I'm making better use of my time. You have set the bar rather high there.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I feel pretty good about myself now.
I've gained 7 pounds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've gained 7 pounds. I did catch up on some landscaping work yesterday, thanks to the fine folks at Lowe's and my leisurely trip to Lowe's that I'm not supposed to do according to the Karens. But I needed that dryer cover, Tracy.
Sure. If it were me, I probably would have just put up something else, like a piece of cardboard.
Well, yeah, but I need air to flow out of that thing. It's a dryer vent.
Holes in it.
It's hot air. It's very hot air. It's very hot air coming out of that dryer from 50 feet away. It doesn't have a chance to cool. I had to go to Lowe's. So are you, you mentioned it earlier, you're going out once a week. What precautions are you taking?
I went out twice.
What precautions are you taking?
None. Really.
You're not wiping off the car? You don't have any hand sanitizer?
I have hand sanitizer with me. I'm really not all that concerned about getting sick.
Yeah.
If I do, I'll lose some weight.
The coronavirus diet plan? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much. I just don't, I'm not that concerned about it, honestly. So I went out twice last week. I went to 2 different stores. It's all very exciting.
Well, I was cleaning out my garage yesterday, and I don't know what the shelf life is on hand sanitizer, but I found a bottle of hand sanitizer that was probably at least 5 years old. And for a split second, you would have thought I found the Ark of the Covenant. I was like, oh my God, hand sanitizer in 2020. I've got a full bottle of hand sanitizer in my car. And I'm actually worried. I used to worry that, we have petty crime in the neighborhood every once in a while. Nobody breaks into cars for the most part. But what they do is if the car's unlocked, they'll open the door and just go, there won't be a smash and grab, I should say. Windows aren't being smashed for people to get in. But if you don't lock your car up, you may find that your stuff is gone. And I'm always amazed when I get on the neighborhood Facebook page. Someone will say, oh, I forgot to lock my car. They got my purse. You left your purse in your car all night and you left your car unlocked? Well, I'm actually worried that somebody may break my window because I leave my hand sanitizer visible for everyone to see in the cup.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
No, I put mine down in the door for that express reason.
Well, I have to ask you, I don't know how close you are to the Delaware border.
Not very.
Okay. Because apparently police in Delaware have a warning to Pennsylvania residents looking to make an alcohol run. Don't cross the border to buy booze or for other non-essential reasons. The governor of Delaware apparently is behind this. It wants to stop anyone with a Pennsylvania plate to see, hey, what are you doing in our state? This is how crazy.
Well, you could also be shopping for sales tax-free items down in Delaware, because Delaware is the home of zero sales tax, at least on the East Coast. Yeah, so this has been a problem for a long time because our stupid state, and in addition to having the highest gas tax, we also have a liquor tax. I want to say it's 18% tax to pay for a flood that happened in Johnstown, Pennsylvania in like the 1930s that they never pulled back on. And we also have these stupid state control of the liquor stores here. So you've got to then pay the person checking you out. They're a union employee that works for the state. So that's why our liquor stores got shut like that. And I'm sure the liquor store clerks union, which is a thing, threw a fit and can't have their people exposed. So yeah, we border on Jersey, Delaware, West Virginia, maybe, Ohio, New York, and New Jersey. Unless I said Jersey twice, it doesn't matter. But all those states have cheaper liquor than Pennsylvania. So people routinely cross the state border to go buy their liquor somewhere else. So I'm not the least bit surprised that now all of a sudden police in Delaware have a warning to Pennsylvania residents. This is from the Philadelphia Inquirer, looking to make an alcohol run. Don't cross the border to buy booze or for any other non-essential reasons. Well, who has determined that booze is not an essential thing?
Right.
You can use alcohol to sterilize stuff.
Yeah, I can't find hand sanitizer, so I need some Everclear.
Yeah, right. Cardi 151 would probably work.
Right.
Yeah, and I know that there's some local distilleries that have transitioned over to making hand sanitizers.
But once again, how seriously are you taking this? That you're putting your first responders in more danger by pulling cars over to find out if this Pennsylvania plate is coming across the state to buy a fifth of Fireball.
Well, it's like, what else are they going to do?
Yeah. Well, it makes up for the revenue that you were talking about earlier. Well, if we can get these out of state people, and I don't know if they're doing this yet, what kind of fines are being levied for people who are crossing the state line and getting their fits of Fireball. But any way to make revenue, got to try to do it. But I'm amazed. I don't understand these states that have state-controlled liquor stores. That would drive me absolutely crazy. You could still get beer and wine at a grocery store, correct?
This is a recent development. Yes, I think it's maybe 3 years old. Mm-hmm. But in order to do that, all the supermarkets had to put a bar in there.
What?
So it can just be like a high top table with 2 or 3 stools, but they have to have an area where you can actually sit and drink. So they have beer and wine tastings at the supermarket. And if you'll recall, I brought this up a couple times when they were trying to privatize the liquor stores. The Liquor Store Clerks Union ran a series of ads about how this is going to lead to more drunk driving deaths if I'm able to buy it at a store that's not controlled by the state. But yet we're going to have beer and wine tastings at our supermarkets. How am I getting home? I'm serious.
I do love that idea if it weren't forced on grocery stores.
Well, it's only cool. Like some of them actually have set up like a full actual bar with TVs and they'll show a game. It's pretty entertaining. You're just like, who wants to go to the grocery store and drink? But I guess maybe you would.
Well, I mean, listen, if you're a couple and the old lady drags you to the grocery store, you'd be like, oh, hey, you know what? Okay, I'll meet you in the toilet paper aisle in a second to see if they have any toilet paper. And then you end up going to the bar and having a stout and watch the game.
That doesn't result in a fight and somebody sleeping on a couch for a week.
At a certain point, you don't give a shit anymore. But the thing is, I do remember in Old Town Alexandria for one of the 700 conferences I've attended over the years. I stayed in Old Town and I went to their little hippy dippy grocery store. I don't know if it was a Trader Joe's or something. They had a bar in that Trader Joe's and they had like 11 beers on tap. I was like, oh, this is cool. Buy a beer, and the shopping cart had a little cup holder, and you could walk around with a stout and do your grocery shopping. It's like, this is okay. I don't know if they have a drink limit when you're like, sir, you've been grocery shopping for 2.5 hours, and this is your 7th stout.
They basically turned it into Vegas.
But no, this would drive me insane. If you couldn't buy any alcohol in the entire state of Indiana, I was pissed that they had Sunday sales. The ban on Sunday sales for almost the entire time I've lived here. It's only been the last 2 years where I could go to a liquor store or grocery store on a Sunday and buy alcohol. I can't imagine you're locking everyone down right now, ordering them to stay home, and oh, by the way, you can't buy hard liquor in our state.
Well, they opened it up to online ordering and delivery. I think it was last week, and the site crashed because some people were on there. Well, keep in mind too, since the liquor stores are all state owned, they're closed on every major holiday. So like, if you wanted booze on July 4th, you can't get it because it's a state holiday.
It's crazy. I come from a state where my hometown, we have drive-through party stores in Michigan where you don't even have to get out of your car. Just drive in, tell the clerk, give me that in the cooler, give me that in the cooler over there, and over there I need a fifth, and can I get some lottery tickets and some smokes? Okay, here you go. That'll be $25.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think a lot's going to change after all this. people are going to have had enough. Hopefully.
You know, it won't change. OJ Simpson's Twitter account. It'll still be there for you. With
Excellent.
Social commentary. Hey, Twitter world. I'm not even saying I sound like him. I just like talking like him. Hey, Twitter world. OJ here. Your old pal, OJ. We have to go.
Mm-hmm.
You can catch the Enough Already podcast, as you know, if you're listening right now, where all fine podcasts are sold. But tell your friends, tell a chum, where you can find the Enough Already podcast on Apple Podcasts and Stitcher, TuneIn, Google Play, all the Android platforms. It's where you can find it. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It'll get the Enough Already podcast in front of more eyes and ears, and we'd greatly appreciate it. And, of course, you can find the Enough Already podcast in video form on YouTube and BitChute. Final thoughts, Tracy?
Yeah, I guess we should say we're going to do some guests coming up here. So we might have some bonus episodes this week and bring back some of our old friends and maybe some new friends.
Yeah. So look for that on our new and improved website, enoughалready.media. So we're going to wrap things up. She's Tracy. I'm Fingers. We'll be back very soon with an all new Enough Already.